All right, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome to this beautiful, beautiful event. Thank you, Quartz. We have live music here. My name is Arthur, and today is the first of a kind live pitches event for Somnium Creators Fund. I'm very excited. On behalf of the whole Somnium team, we're super excited. We announced that a little bit more than 2 weeks ago, and we've received 20 applications, and we're all amazing. They're all great. They're fantastic. We have chosen 10 people to present today for the July batch. And for those who don't know what the heck is Somnium Creators Fund, let me give you a quick rundown what it is actually. You know, we have hundreds of amazing creators in Somnium space, and we see a lot of events, a lot of ideas emerging every day. And we also see that there is a need for people to make this last step, you know, to validate their work, to make sure that they can make this step towards making their, you know, just a tiny hobby to a more of a full-time effort and a full-time job. And that's why we saw that, and we saw a potential that people can bring a lot of new amazing ideas into Somnium. And we said, look, we have to give back to the community, and we have to support our amazing creators. And that's why we decided to make this fund. This fund, just in numbers, there will be each month, depending on the projects, if they will be all awarded, each month $10,000 in Somnium Cubes is ready to be distributed to different projects. There is $1,000 per project. This is a max limit, and people can apply. We will run it probably every month depending on the availability, and people can apply, and they can go and come here and live pitch their idea in front of amazing judges, and we'll present them a little bit later. And in the end of the day, they can either get funded or not. And of course, if we will not award funding for the one of the pitches or several pitches, or maybe hopefully we'll award it to everyone, but we will see. We will let you know what we expected more, what is our feedback, so that you know what to refine for the next time, and hopefully next time you will get the full funding. So, and of course, judges. Who are our judges today? Give a round of applause to our judges! Woo!
Yay, judges!
Judges. So, let me start with Chris Bell. Chris Bell is the veteran of Somnium Space. He was, and I think still is, one of the biggest landholders in Somnium Space. He was here from the very beginning. He's one of the most active members of the economical part of Somnium Space. He traded more than anyone, including myself, ever dreamt to trade in Somnium Space. He did it. If you were dreaming about something, it's probably he did it. All right, already. So thumbs up to Chris. He's very involved in the community. He's here, and we love Chris. So whoop, whoop, whoop. All right.
Yeah, Chris!
Yeah, Chris. On the other parallel, thank you, Quartz, amazing. On the other side of the spectrum is Artific. He's the more of the newcomer in our community. But what the coming out that was! Come on, this was amazing. He just came and smashed all the events. He's running every day an event in Somnium Space, either in VR or in the web. He's in the art community, he's in Somnium community, he's super well connected, he knows the stuff, he owns VR headset, he's here, and we love you, Artific. So thumbs ups and big cheers for Artific! And of course, it will not be complete if I will not introduce Nature Warp. Nature Warp is a special beast, and you can see it from his avatar, right? He is also an OG, let's call him an OG in Somnium Space. He came in, and I'm super glad that I had a small impact on his journey in Somnium Space. I rented the first parcel and for his first gallery in Somnium Space to him, and since then it was just a hell of a ride. Nature Warp is an artist, he's an avatar creator, he's an amazing active community member, he is doing and organizing lots of events, and it's just fantastic. So, cheers for Nature Warp!
Yeah,
Woo! And of course, then it's me. Then it's me, that's it. Alright, so, I'm glad to be here. I love you all. I love you all, you know it. We will be judging, so don't expect this to be a soft ride, okay? We will ask you questions, we'll ask you different things. Every judge, I'll repeat, every judge will have one question to ask. Now, every pitch will have 10 minutes. I will always warn you 2 or 1 minute before the end, so I will tell you from that place, I'll tell you 2 minutes left, so you know that 2 minutes left. If you want, your slides will be changing here behind you. If you didn't start the web browser, start your web browser. You will see your slides behind you. If you want to go to the next slide, you should say, next slide, please, and we will switch to the next slide for you, all right? Once you finish the presentation, each judge will ask one question, and Quartz, in meanwhile, will be playing some tunes for us, some sound bites and stuff. And yes, so we will be hearing each of you, and we'll be calling you out to present one by one. And I think, without further ado, let's have a little bit of music before we start, and then I'll call the first presenter out. So let's go! Everybody cheer up! Woo!
Yeah! Sports.
Friday!
Yeah, everybody clap with that beat. Clap.
All right, everybody ready? Yeah. Woo! I can see your hands. And the first presenter who is coming on stage today is Mark Demar from Somnium Times. All right, the floor is yours. Check the microphone, Mark.
Great.
All right, cool. We can hear you well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Perfect. Yes. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, my name is Mark Demar, and thank you for this opportunity to present my project, the Somnium Times Talented Writers Fund. So let's dive into it. Next slide, please. So, yeah, the first thing I would like to say is that that I really believe in the power of Somnium space. I believe in virtual reality and the second-to-none immersion that we are experiencing here in Somnium, right? That's the reason why I am in Somnium and not some other world. Somnium space is really leading the way to the true metaverse, in my opinion. But apart from that, I also believe in the power of stories. Next slide, please. Introduced me to Somnium space for the first time. So I didn't have a headset. I did have a web browser, just like anyone else. And I stumbled upon a story about Somnium. And I honestly don't remember who wrote it, but it was a fantastic description of someone viewing the mountains from a distance and how it made that person feel. Right? That was an amazing thing. It was an amazing story, and that's when I knew I had to experience the same thing. I had to go there. And to make a long story short, here I am. Right? That was my entry point to Somnium space, and that really captured me. Next slide, please. So, when I became a Somnium citizen, I also knew that I wanted to express what I was experiencing, and not only for fellow citizens, but especially for those still on the outside. right? So, and what better way to do that than through a website? And again, long story short, that idea evolved into what's known as the Somnium Times now. Next slide, please. So, a key notion, that's how I feel about it at least, a key notion is events they unfold in the virtual world, they have a real life and direct impact on the people who roam it, right? And that's a big misconception among many people. They think that because it's virtual, it isn't real. And we know that it couldn't be further from the truth, right? Because every day new stories are created, new memories get engraved in people's minds. Like you're not leaving Somnium without a new memory. And the whole idea with the Somnium Times is simply to capture some of those stories, as many as possible, obviously, and to share them with the world. And to show them that it's real and the things that are happening in Somnium space are real stories and real memories that are made. We've done that for over a year now, and I'm actually proud to say that the Somnium Times has become, the way that I see it at least, has become a real in-world brand, right? And that's great. And more people, and that's like the really good thing, that more and more people are finding the Somnium Times and finding Somnium space by doing a simple Google search. Like I can see the statistics. I can see that more and more people are coming. They read the stories. They read the story about artists and the events and all the parties and the music and everything that's going on. And that's a great thing. Next slide, please. So then we get to the Talented Writers Fund. So what's the idea with this? Well, we all know that Somnium space is expanding really fast, and that's a great thing. The events become more widespread and they are more diverse than ever. We just heard Arthur talk about all the events that take place on a daily basis, and more, because of that, more and more stories are created. Now, you could say that the overriding aim of the Talented Writers Fund is to capture those stories, to capture more stories, bring more news, and to grow alongside Somnium space, and not like stay behind, right? It shouldn't stay like a one-man thing, right? We want more stories, because beautiful things are happening in Somnium space. We have the tertiary land offering around the corner, just starting here in July, and we have Somnium Worlds SDK being released very soon, and a lot more. And it's very clear that we are experiencing a creative explosion. I mean, we've already seen it, that more is going to happen. Like I constantly feel we're only at the beginning of the ride here. We're going to see fantastic things. And the Talented Writers Fund will allow the Somnium Times to be in the middle of that action, right? This summer and hopefully beyond. With the fund, we can expand our coverage. We can continue to inform, we can continue to inspire and show people what this is about by bringing the very best stories from Somnium space. Next slide, please. So a little bit more about the specifics of the plan. So first of all, part of the fund will be used to incentivize writers and aspiring writers to submit articles for publication. Obviously, there will be some clear rules that articles need to adhere to. It's not any text will be accepted, but we will lay out the rules for that. And if articles are accepted and published, it will be rewarded by a fixed amount in cubes. And of course, the goal there is that it should lead to better coverage of all the things happening in Somnium, right? We won't limit ourselves to one specific category or topic. We will also make very clear that we would like to have a really broad range of articles covering technology, economy in Somnium space, art, obviously, the music, the architecture, you name it. There will be lots of different topics that can be covered. The second part of the fund, and that has been kind of really a wish a long time wish actually, is to have like a new in-world news show or podcast. As some of you may know, we have a headquarters in Somnium Space. It hasn't really been used for the purpose yet, but the idea is that we will start a new show and a podcast.
2 minutes.
So even though like we really believe in the power of stories, like to accompany those stories with in-world footage, with interviews, and with like reports from the world is only a logical step. So the plan is to create an in-world job position actually, and to pay salary in cubes. Next slide, please. So, just to sum up what this is all about, in a nutshell, this will lead to more stories, more news, more information, and obviously more exposure and more people discovering Somnium, right? So, in the same way that I can go back to myself, like what happened? What's the first time I heard about Somnium? That was that story that I read about someone looking at the mountains from a distance, and I think that that's essentially what we want to do. We want to bring those stories, and that was it.
All right, give it a round of applause to Mark. Quartz, give us some notes, give us some music. Woohoo! All right, so while judges are preparing Mark, please stay on your mark. Mark, stay on your mark. The judges are gathering their thoughtful power for the questions. I hope you all loved the presentation. I hope you all read Somnium Times. And from time to time you go there and read. Of course, you all know Somnium Times. Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
All right, cool. So thank you, Quartz. And Chris, are you there with us?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Just writing down a note.
Perfect. All right. So Chris is right on here. We're taking that seriously. So thank you, Quartz. So Chris, do you have a question for Mark?
Yes, Mark. I love the Somnium Times. I'm a reader. I wanted to know how the Somnium Times makes money right now, and how the $1,000 that you spend on more articles is going to end up making you more money, so that you could repeat the process going forward.
Great question.
Yeah, it's actually a really great question, and you could say that I started this project out of a passion, simply, right? I really felt I love storytelling. I love stories. I love to read a good story. And I just wanted to give something. Like, I was so blown away by everything that I saw that I immediately felt the need to give something back, right? And to be part of this. And that's my big motivation. That there is no doubt that the more articles we publish in the Somnium Times, the more people will be able to find us. We will get more and more visitors. And it's definitely something that we are thinking about, is like, how can we make that, first of all, beneficial for Somnium Space? How can we make sure that that we keep attracting people? But it's definitely like, once the numbers are going up, we definitely start thinking about how we are gonna monetize that in one way or another. And I do want to keep that within Somnium Space, right? I don't want to say, okay, somebody from the outside, hey, here's a website with lots of people, you can start putting ads on our website. It has to be something that has to do with Somnium Space. So I must say, Chris, that this is something that I'm definitely considering. The first thing I'm focusing on is growth and quality stories. Because I know that once the people come, we can turn that into a consistent income stream, and that will, of course, help us growing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good. Fantastic. I really like how it organizes everything into one brand, all the individual stories going on in Somnium Space, and everyone coming from their individual background and posting various things, some singing, some building, you know, some artists, and all kinds of different things going on. So bringing that all into one brand, where we can all write something and put the same brand on it and post it to the same spot and make it bigger and bigger, I think is a great idea. Good luck.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Chris. So, Artific, do you have a question for Mark?
Yeah, I would like to ask about the rules that you mentioned for the articles. Could you give us at least like a little bit more clear idea of how you want to,
sure.
like which article will go in and which wouldn't make it?
Yeah, we'll make some very clear rules, and that has something to do with you could say that it has to be quality, and not only in terms of that it has to cover a wide variety of topics. It also has to kind of be a minimum and maximum number of words. Like it shouldn't be too short, and it shouldn't be too long either, right? And also it needs to be grammatically, you could say there are simply some rules that it needs to follow. These are maybe more kind of concrete rules, but there will also be some more like different kinds of viewpoints. We will definitely kind of set some rules, some boundaries about what people can cover and what they shouldn't cover, right? So, and I think that as the Somnium Times, we can set the rules for that. I can guarantee that there will be a lot of kind of freedom for the people to write about what they feel even, right? Like when they look at the mountains and they look at the beautiful architecture, or they participated or joined this party, they have the freedom to write about that, just their own feelings. I love stories like that. But we will be very critical. It's not every story that will be published, and the reason for that also is that I do want to. This is about writers' talent, right? And writing is an art in itself, and that's something you need to practice. It's a skill, and this is also to kind of pick out those people who really love writing and to improve their skills, and only publish the best stories.
Okay.
But we will publish that when we launch. Hopefully soon, then we will announce very clearly what those rules are.
Okay, thank you. We have to hurry up a little bit. Natural, do you have any question for Mark?
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to all these poetry and journalism stories in the Times, but I was wondering what will happen with the new show and the podcasts. Will this be also in the Somnium Times website, or is it going to be a new website or something?
No.
Entirely different?
Yeah, that's a good question. We all keep it under the Somnium Times brand, right? So these will probably be in the form of YouTube videos. Those will be published on the Somnium Times YouTube channel. But they will also be announced in the Somnium Times. So we do keep it within one brand. So it will be something like the Somnium Times News Hour, once a week, something like that. We need to look at kind of how far do the funds go if we get the funds for that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I have one more question. In really quick 3 points. Let's say you get chosen, you get funds which are transferred to you even this week. What are the next 3 steps you will do right away?
The first step would definitely be to write the rules and to write and post an article about exactly what you need to do if you want to get your article published, basically. I will also do some calculations around what I believe would be the optimal payment.
Okay, I guess we lost Mark there.
I think that's a good thing that we do that in a kind of official way, that we launch it, that we make sure that everybody understands now, hey, from now on I can start sending my articles.
Okay.
So that the word is out, basically. These
All
are
right.
the 3 things.
Thank you. On this note, I would like to thank Mark DeMar. Cheer up to Mark DeMar from Somnium Times, everybody! Woo! Thank you, Mark. Next slide, Ultra. Next slide.
I press the button? Yeah. There we go.
Oh, now it showed up. Got it. Thank you. I guess it wasn't close enough.
All right. That was amazing, but that's not even the end. This is just the beginning. And the next, I would like to introduce you our second presentation, which is Jambi Dragonfire with virtual performing art district of Somnium Space. Round of applause, everybody, for Jambi! Woo!
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody. Great job, Mark, by the way. So, I want to tell you a little bit about me, because I don't talk about myself too much, but my background is in performing arts and education, in music and theater. I hold a BA in music and theater education. I've been both in the public schools with very successful music programs, as well as the private sector, where I've organized and coordinated huge events, large-scale events for thousands of people, with $30,000 budgets and all that stuff, in professional Broadway theaters. I've worked backstage with the production crews, planned call sheets with union stage hands, hired professional musicians for orchestras, and even conducted those orchestras. Organized volunteers to make it all possible. I've also directed musicals and theatrical performances, started and developed many adult instrumental groups and programs that still exist today, and even performed with a professional opera on stage. And it's all of this culmination of knowledge and experience that I want to bring this to Somnium Space to create the very first VR performing arts district. And it's going to be fantastic. I'm so excited about it. Next slide, please. It's been my passion ever since starting Insomnia Space, and the whole reason I started Insomnia Space, as many of you know, was because I felt like there was this need for these events, these performing shows and things, to bring people here to develop this active community. And I think that's still a very key important thing that we've got to work on. And so live music happens to be what I was doing and what I could do. So I wanted to start a live music performance venue. And gradually we started to learn how to do this. We worked with the dev team because we wanted this to be a live experience that you could actually experience like you were really at a concert, not just watching a video or, you know, with a delay. We've tried different things, and, you know, certain things worked, certain things didn't, and it just took a long time. We worked with the dev team, and boy, they did a fantastic job, I have to say. The dev team, oh my God, because now I think, at least in my opinion and from what I've seen, we have the only successful live ability to put on live shows and live music. Like with a half-a-second delay, I don't think any other platform does it as well as Somnium Space does. I don't know how it's happened, but we did it. And so I'm very, very proud of that. So I'm really proud of the dev team and being a part of that development. And then, of course, my goal was not just to perform myself. That was not my goal. I do like to perform, but that's not my thing. I really want to organize this huge effort to bring in fantastic performers like Quartz, who is performing Friday. Anyway, and
he did it again.
Bring them in here, to bring them to Somnium Space, because those people can not only provide entertainment for great people like us, but will bring other people and become more active in this community. And those people will say, hey, wow, this is a place I want to be. So anyway, there's, next slide, please. So we created the Virtual Performing Arts District of Somnium Space. That's this idea here. It's going to be a world, and it's our goal at this wonderful Virtual Performing Arts district to connect all kinds of performers, not just singers, all kinds of performers with audiences all over the world. And we already do that in a sense right now. And we want to make it as a realistic as possible experience with real working venues. I mean, we want to have the curtains move and everybody see the curtains move. We want to see the lights come on and everybody see them at the same time so that light shows can be synchronized. Everything is going to be amazing. We want the audience to be able to applaud rather than, woo, you know what I mean? We're going to have buttons they can press to make thunderous applause. We're going to make this as real as possible. Next slide, please. And many talented performing artists may not be comfortable in the real world. I mean, I'm certainly not. And don't want to be on a video, or they may have physical limitations. They may have phobias. They might not even want to be seen in public. So we make it possible for those very talented people. And I think of a woman who was on, I forget the name of the show, but anyway, she was a fantastic singer, but she was kind of an old, frumpy-looking woman. You know who I'm talking about? What's her name?
Yeah. The opera singer, yeah, she's amazing.
British, yes.
Yeah.
And she was fabulous. Yes, Susan Boyle. But, you know, she didn't fit that image that everybody thinks has to be for a performer, to be so beautiful and all these things. And so she, you know, had her opportunity there to become famous, but not many people get that opportunity or even want to be in front of a camera. So we want to provide that opportunity. Now, our district is going to be for Somnium Space. It's a performing district of Somnium Space, branded like Mark was talking about. We want to have about 6 venues. We're going to have events, of course, performances in VR and 2D. 2D people can still perform because a lot of musicians like Quartz have to play an instrument while they're, and they can't do the VR with the controllers and all that kind of stuff. We're going to outreach to the performing arts community. Like I said, it's going to be fully functional venues. You'll be able to attend these live performances and experience these things firsthand, live with interaction. So when you speak to them, they hear you. When you clap for them, they hear you, and you hear them immediately as well. We're going to have an academy there. There's going to be a performing arts academy where we can teach, learn, and have classes. That's one big passion of mine, is I'm a teacher. And I can't wait to start the first music class where I'm going to teach instrumental ensembles that will be all in VR. We're going to create the instruments, we're going to teach the instruments, and we're going to perform them live in VR. It'll be the first ever in the world. Nobody's ever done this. So performance and musicians can book events and sell tickets. So, you know, if you have a show you want to put on, you can do that. And we're going to give a discount to community members who are active right now. Also, if you bring performers to our concert series, for instance, we're going to have a concert series that will go on throughout the year. You can buy season tickets. You can buy individual tickets to come to these. That concert series is going to be sponsored by this fund. So if you happen to know a performer that can, you know, put in an application that we decide is going to fit with our concert series, and they get chosen, then you'll get a reward, a percentage reward from the profits. So all of this is to help grow the community, to help benefit the community, to give all these wonderful performers an opportunity to actually perform on a real stage.
3 minutes.
Of course, we're going to have active community engagement through social media, Discord, all of that as well. Next slide, please. So the allocation of funding, a lot of it is going to go to our marketing and advertising because we want to target market. We're going to seek out those 8 million Quest users or however many it is. I always love seeing Terry's posts about all the Quest stories. But, you know, we're going to target those people because a lot of those people may not even realize this is a possibility. And of those 8 million people, I'm sure some of them are great performers. We're going to target market. We're going to use some of it for performing, scripting and programming, which DeNevero is going to be handling. Performer funding. Of course, we're going to pay our performing arts people, the people who are on the performing arts series. Yeah. And then, of course, hosting and web services and creating the website as well. That's going to be Ultralord. And then 3D modeling and event coordination. And that's where my passion is. I can't wait to get in there and to coordinate all these events and get them going. Of course, we're going to need volunteers. And as the program grows and we start to make even more money, we'll be able to hire people to like manage events, manage all these different programs that are going forward. Next slide, please. I'm trying to talk fast, I'm sorry. So these are the venues that we have now. These names are not set in stone. What we did was we came up with some cool names just for now. But what we're going to also do is offer the opportunity for people to sponsor venues. And you'll get some kind of NFT with that. And then your name could be on the venue.
SK, please mute your microphone.
SK.
But just for the sake of understanding, the Grand Theater will be the largest, and it'll be just like a Broadway theater. It'll have working everything, curtains, lighting, backstage stuff that moves up and down. The Apollo Playhouse will be a little smaller, more for a theatrical type setting or small music concerts, but still a fully working venue. The Jellos Club, which is going to be like a comedy club. The Muses Karaoke Bar, which of course is for karaoke, but you can come there at any time and enjoy and have fun and perform for your friends. And there's no charge for that, by the way. That'll be something available to the community all the time. The Eremos Outdoor Stage. You can come there and do huge events. And the Virtual Performing Arts Academy, which I mentioned, where we're going to teach. And we can even teach, are you ready for this? Virtual dance classes. I'm super excited about my trackers coming in September, because can you imagine a real virtual dance show with VR? I think that'll be incredible. Next slide, please. So, of course, these are the people involved. It's me, myself, the executive director. I'll handle the events and coordinating and the 3D modeling. And then we have Ultralord, who's going to help with some of that as well. And he does the website and software engineering. And then Denevero, who's going to do a lot of the software engineering, programming, amazing stuff. I can't wait. Next slide, please. Okay, why should we do this? Well, it brings incredible musicians and artists into Somnium space for us to enjoy. It establishes new and exciting events, a way for the community to retain users and get more in here. Events and performances create hype and curiosity, of course, around Somnium. And we're going to be so target marketed that when you put in like virtual performing, boom, we're going to come up on the top. We establish Somnium space as a place where musicians and performers can thrive and have a real experience, live, instant, with everybody interacting. Next slide, please. This is just kind of our timeline, what we're going to be doing, and when it's going to happen. Not too important right now. Next slide. I'm trying to rush through this. Okay, I think we're done. Questions?
All right, give it a buzz for Jemby Dragonfire. Woo! All right, question time.
Friday.
Stop teasing this performance. He's doing it. He did it 3 times already. That's a professional. You see, if you don't believe him that he can market stuff, you can directly see that right on the stage. All right, thank you. And I guess let's go with questions. Chris, do you have any question for Jemby?
Great job. Sounds amazing. First of all, I like how you're already performing in virtual reality, so you're talking the talk already before you get started with this idea. So this isn't just an idea, this is something you're already doing yourself. So congratulations there. A couple of questions. These events that you're talking about, I would think would take a lot of time, a lot of organization, and a lot of cooperation between practicing for the event. And do you think that you could bring any of your real life friends into virtual reality to start helping with some of these things to bring more performers in? So that was my question, but basically I really like the idea how you're looking for performers instead of just looking for customers or more audience for your show. You're looking for more performers to come because it's going to just generate a massive network effect of more users. So I really like that, but I was wondering if you could bring some of your real life colleagues into virtual reality too.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Some of them already have headsets, and then two of the performers which I've brought in to perform with us, like Quartz, who's performing Friday, plug again,
4 times
have actually, and Ange, I don't know if you saw Ange was here last couple months ago, and they actually bought headsets. They were so impressed with what's going on here, they bought their own headsets. And people like that, are going to be coming in to be part of all of this activity and to make it just expand. And, I don't have all the connections, and I don't think any one person does. So we want all of these people involved because their connections will have their connections will have their connections. So it's all this networking that's going to go on. And I don't see myself as, like, the god of all things. I see myself as the person who coordinates, the person who brings all these people together to do all of these things, to help, motivate others to get involved and to do this and do that. I don't want to be the one doing it all the time, I enjoy performing, but it's not something that I meant for me, you know, it's not just like the djembe show every week. I don't want that. That's not what my goal was. So the goal is to make it better for Somnium Space, to bring these opportunities into Somnium Space, and doing it through this performing arts district where everything can be realistic. We can get dancing, we can get theater, we can get all this stuff. It's going to bring such a massive amount of attention because it's not done anywhere else, at least not in the way we're going to do it. So I hope that helps.
All right, thank you. Yeah, fantastic, fantastic.
Very great.
Artific?
It kind of goes hand in hand with the Somnium Times.
Yeah,
like
so far
all
that's
the
wonderful
individual
project.
stories that come through end up going back on to Somnium Times as well. What we just heard, that whole pitch.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes, exactly.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Artific?
Yeah, so yeah, this is a wonderful project. I love the idea. Just like one thing it's like really ambitious. So the question is maybe a little bit more about the timeline that you mentioned and like the funding. Like it's not small amount of money, but also I'm a little bit worried if you will actually have enough like manpower and money to get it going.
Right, exactly. It's gonna, believe me, I understand that. Yeah, the funding is gonna be, we're gonna have to do a lot of research on where to spend it best, especially on the target marketing, because we wanna spend that money the most effective way that we can. And then of course bringing in the artists. You know, I already have in mind what a good artist, you know, would be worth, and you know, because I'm a musician, and some, you know, it might be too little for some people, and then it may be great for some others. So it's going to be a balancing act in the beginning. Our timeline is more so right now. We've got the website already created. So the next step we're going to work on is the targeting marketing. So a lot of the money is going to be spent in the beginning on that and figuring out where's best to spend it. In the background, though, I'm going to be working on the modeling, of course, and Denevro's going to be working on the programming. Ultra's going to be working on the website. All of the background important critical steps to get ready for when the World's SDK comes out. And then we have to work within the World's SDK until we get that all ironed out. And then at that point, we can start scheduling the concert series. Not to say that I won't already be talking to musicians, both here in Somnium and outside of Somnium, to get the concert series slated, because we're also going to have to create NFT season tickets, individual tickets, and things like that as well. So it's going to be tricky, but the goal, of course, is that we'll make some money. I mean, we'll sell the season tickets, we'll sell the individual tickets, we'll rent the venues, so performers can come from completely outside of Somnium Space, come in and rent a venue, they pay us a fee, we handle everything for them, they get the promotion through our website, they get the promotion through our social media, that huge amount of exposure, and then people can buy their tickets and they make their money. So people can actually rent a venue and make a lot of money by doing a performance there. So, and that'll help us to grow as well. And then that income will start helping to benefit to get us more people. Like I want to have management, venue manager positions, and of course all kinds of things like that. So yes, it's going to take some time, but I believe we can do it.
Yeah, I believe
okay,
so
thank
too.
you.
All right. Nature warp.
It will happen.
We are completely blown away by the size of this project. I think the previous question was also one of mine, definitely. Maybe you can talk a bit more about those instruments. I was very interested in that.
Yeah, I've already got it in my head. I don't know if you've ever heard of tone chimes. They're much like handbells, but they're a little more simplified. And I'm a percussionist by trade, and I taught music for years. And the tone chimes, I even taught a handbell choir in a big church. The tone chimes are just very simple. You know, a person holds one in each hand, and you know, there's 12 notes essentially in a scale, you know, and that's it. So you have 6 people, each has one in each hand, and they'll be able to play them. Now, the concept is that the actual physical instrument, or virtual physical instrument, will actually make the sound. So the sound won't be produced through a microphone. So because it's being produced in the game, it should be instantaneous. Of course, this is all theory so far, but it should be instantaneous. So if I'm conducting the music and the people are following the beat, then when they play their music, it should be instantaneous. And we should be able to have 6 people perform music together, and it would sound perfect and be presented. Of course, those instruments are going to have cool effects and lights so that when they play them, they light up, and it's going to be all kinds of cool stuff. But that's all in the programming end.
All right. Thank you. Last question from my side. You know, even though our development team rocks, I love you, development team of Somnium, there are still some challenges, of course. You know, when we release new things, there will always take time to polish them, to make them work properly, to test it out and things like that. So my question is, are you ready to adapt? And I know, you know, we've done a lot of work together, but are you ready to adapt in terms of, you know, while these Worlds SDK are getting the polish which is needed, you'll still be running your project, you know, because, you know, if you get chosen, you get funding tomorrow, right? So just asking, like, you won't be waiting until you know the Worlds are completely ready. You will be starting already like today, tomorrow, or day after tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. I can start looking for the musicians for the concert series. I can get that slated. We could even start concerts in my venue, which is, you know, in the regular world, which is fine. It doesn't have all of the cool features and stuff. I'm not ready to advertise that it's going to be, you know, that level of the world, but we can certainly do things here already. I mean, which we are doing, like Friday when we have chords.
5th time, everybody! He's the champion! Woo! All right, thank you. Give a big round of applause to Jambi, Dragonfire, and the virtual music performance art. All right, next slide, please. Ollie Sounds is invited to the Circle of Truth, we call it. I'm joking. All right, everybody. So, next up is Ollie and Ollie's music and marketing. Round of applause to Ollie, everybody. Woo! Your 10 minutes starts now. We don't hear you, Ollie. We don't hear you. We can't hear you. Check your mic. Still nothing?
Are you speaking?
Not yet. All right, let's rock some music, and meanwhile, show us some dancing, everybody.
I didn't do it that time. It wasn't me.
Popcorn for the kids.
Thank you.
I'm really excited. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, let me drink some water.
Sorry about that. All right. That's okay. Well, should I start? All right.
Yes.
Arthur.
Maybe let's wait for Arthur.
He's hiding.
All right. I'm back. Ollie, can we hear you now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So your
thank you
10
guys for
your 10 minutes
patience.
starts now. Let's go.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having me. Thanks for doing this Creators Fun thing. I have loved Somnium Space since I discovered it. Obviously, I've become very invested, myself as well as my team. We've invested in cubes, and we're just in love with the community, and we want to support and give back as much as we can because you guys have given us so much, every single one of you, honestly. So, my team and I, at least Pax and I, we have over 30 years of marketing experience combined. And yeah, I just want to share a couple of my ideas, and hopefully they resonate with you guys. If you have any suggestions, we're here for you guys. So, next slide, please. All right. So, first of all, I'm going to talk about what content we'll create, how we're going to use the $1,000 of cubes, and also how you guys will benefit, how the community will grow, and how we'll attract more people into the community and just, you know, enhance what already exists. Next slide. Okay, so first of all, we're going to make content, and you've already seen my dance parties. Last night I gave a little acoustic performance, which was guitar, and we want to expand upon that, and we're also going to do brand partner music events. With that being said, all these different types of performances, we're going to partner with other musicians, other DJs, other brands, all of which have their own fan bases and, you know, people who we can introduce Somnium Space to. Next slide, please. All right, so the DJ parties are going to be like my Sunday Fun Day, which I've been doing every week. I've partnered with Mark DeMar. He's been so kind as to let me use his parcel. We also just bought 2 parcels of our own, and
Yay!
I am working with Sintiki to make some cool, some sexy builds on that. So I'm really excited for you guys.
Go
to see
sexy
those.
builds!
So
I'm sorry.
pretty soon. We're gonna have, as I said, guest DJs. We're gonna plan larger DJ events and festivals. An event of which we're already planning. I told you guys a bit about that, our tour, and we're working with Alt-V right on that. I'll talk more about that later. But we're gonna do song and NFT releases. Right now, I'm working with George Lopez, a huge American comedian with millions of fans all over the world. And we are releasing an NFT next week. That being said, that same team that we made his NFT with, we're also going to work with Val Kilmer, who's an American actor who played Batman in the Batman movie. So I would love to somehow coordinate with the team and do some NFT releases here. And that goes to special events and openings on the bottom. And that would be, you know, anything from new builds, if you guys want, you know, DJs performing at your new builds, or, you know, to introduce your new stores or something like that. You know, we want the community to be involved as much as possible. So next slide, please. So acoustic shows, like I did last night, that's guitar, piano gigs. We really want to integrate Twitch and their audience, who are, you know, many of which are gamers, PC users, people who love VR, you know. We really, really want to stress how valuable the Twitch audience is. That being said, we'll bring in guest musicians. We want to do songwriter circles, whether the people are in VR 2D or just streaming in on Twitch. You know, it's going to be very intimate and, you know, just fun, very socially engaging experiences. Also, I mentioned we have a new build for shows coming soon. We're going to have a dance floor. We're going to have a stage where we're going to do more acoustic and instrumental kind of performances, but it's all going to be about music. So next slide. All right, so the last thing as far as content goes, we're going to do brand partner music events. So we're already working on an event right now. Alt-V Rat is actually working on it with me. We're in connection with a Twitch mod who works with me and some other larger DJs, and he has the power to bring in an audience of thousands. All right, so with Notes for Notes, we wanted to partner with that fundraiser. They do music education for kids who otherwise wouldn't be able to access that. And what they want is a parcel in Somnium Space where they can meet with kids from all over the world and, you know, just do mentorship and also, you know, music education of all kinds. This is like, you know, the instrument lessons, this is DJ lessons, production, all sorts of things. And they've worked with people like Panic at the Disco, huge American band, Outkast, Slash, and a lot of other huge acts that have millions of fans across the world who would more than support these events, or this fundraiser event that we're doing. And what we want to do is have all female DJs. And we've already talked to 2 female DJs who are interested. So it would be myself performing, and then these other DJs who are actually have much larger followings than I do. Next slide, please. All right, so to get to specifics, how are we going to use the cubes? So none of this is going to go to me personally. I'm just going to pay other musicians and also run ads with the cubes. So next slide, please. All right, so paying musicians, we're going to pay them in cubes. I want to encourage every single one to open a Somnium Space account, obviously. And then each musician will be required, and I'm sure will be more than happy to promote the events on their Twitches, on their social media, all over. Next slide. Excuse me. And the other 50% will go to running ads. We're going to target ads across multiple platforms, all the social medias, Google, YouTube, Twitter, everything. Also, I got a more detailed breakdown in the future, so I'll just skip to the next slide, please. All right, so the whole goal is to bring more users to Somnium Space to support the existing community and grow the community. And the way to do that is by creating engaging and attractive social experiences, which already exist, but we just want, much more, because we're going to have so many people flooding into here. Like, we already know this. And we just want to make sure that we have content here for them. I mean, we already love what exists already, but, you can't have too much fun. So we're going to run targeted ads and drive traffic to Somnium Space. That's the primary goal here. This traffic will be premium traffic. We're going to use the money
2 minutes
on test ads to make sure we optimize, as much as possible. So we'll target VR users, PC owners, people who will fall in love with Somnium Space as much as we have. So, and by networking with other artists, brands, and their fans, we will reach a lot of gamers. Next slide. I got this timeline here so you can know how long it will take me to get all this started. And we are already started. We're planning the all-female DJ fundraiser to buy a parcel for Notes in here. And we can have advertising campaigns ready as soon as you guys say. And we'll know the price of the DJs and musicians as soon as the cubes are available, as soon as next week. Next slide. So this is just reiterating with more of a breakdown, just rough estimates. $500 for musicians. That's $100 roughly per musicians if we get 5 musicians in a month. The average musician should have 5,000 to 50,000 followers across all platforms, and let's say an average of 10,000 followers per musician. All right, so we'd be spending $500 on potentially, on reaching 50,000 people at least. Next slide. All right, so we're going to pay for ads across all platforms, which I already spoke of. So next slide, please. And then the results will be that we're reaching a lot of people. We're going to have a lot of interesting events and more content in the space. So next slide. My conclusion is that all my cubes will be spent on musicians and marketing. We're going to create exciting events. Can't stress that enough. I mean, you guys have already done this, and you've inspired me so much. So, I mean, don't fix what's not broken.
We love you, Ole.
So we just need to keep going with what we're doing and do more of it. But I really believe in Somnium Space, and I am open to any suggestions. And I want you guys all to be involved. My team is in love with Somnium Space. I mean, so we're here for you guys, and we just want to help. So thank you guys for having me here. And do you guys have any questions for me?
Thank you. Big round of applause to all everybody. Woo!
Food courts.
All right. All right. Questions. So, Chris, as always, we start from your side. Do you have any questions,
Sure.
Yoli?
I'll start with after the whole presentation, I'll start with my suggestion first, and then I'll move on to kind of the question from there. I was wondering if it might be better to pay for all of the musicians to come in and then use maybe the rest of the funds instead of on ads to create the NFTs, so that the NFT sales would generate the money that you paid for the artist, so that you could then continue the process forward. Because I feel like sort of how you presented it with the ads and the money on the artist, everything ends after those first 5 performances, unless somehow generate some more money from the tickets and the NFTs, and maybe the artist to create the NFTs from there. So that was kind of my question. My question is ultimately, what would you do if you run out of the ad money, or if you run out of the $1,000? Are you going to be able to hire any more artists from there, or what's the plan at that point?
Yeah, I'll just make one remark. So the fund is designed to run. So if you get accepted, you get accepted for 3 months. So you'd get 3 months worth of $1,000 in cubes. Of course, with a little bit of reporting in the end of each month. And of course, as we said, once you run out of those 3 months, you apply for extension. And you basically repeat the pitch with the results, and then we will either extend the program for you for your project, or we don't, depending on the results, of course, of the first 3 months. But it's a very valid question. It's a valid question of how do you create this kind of a perpetuum mobile where sustainability exactly.
I really love that idea. I think we can integrate NFTs for sure. Especially if anyone here has connections with bigger platforms. I've had my own releases on Maker's Place and Super Rare, and also work with Mintable a lot. And I know Zach, the CEO, and he's super enthusiastic about all the Metaverse. And yeah, I would love that idea. I think that ads, just from a marketing background and sales background, I really do see a lot of value in ads and targeting people who aren't necessarily familiar with the NFT space yet, because a lot of these gamers and PC owners and potential VR users who will be buying hardware within the next year, exponential amounts. I think that targeting those people will have a lasting impact, but there's no reason why we can't do NFTs as well. And also, like, if the funds run out, I was actually just going to use my own money to, I want to make sure that this works. So, but I do think that the 1,000 cubes would be enough for just at least the ads. But as far as NFTs go, I don't know how much it would cost to get all that together, but I think that would be a part of the promotional cost, if that makes sense.
Minting the NFTs is easy enough and cheap enough, and if you're only trying to raise maybe $100 per show, and you didn't try to overprice the NFTs in any way, just try to raise a few $100s to replace the 100 that you spent to do the show, so that you can keep that process going, and then increase the numbers for each show moving forward after that, so it's a nice sustainable process going forward. So you don't have to put your own money in. You shouldn't have to put your own money in. The idea should cover your own.
All right, and you listen to him. He has an MBA, so here's the business masterclass for free, right? Who are doing the pitches. Thanks, Chris.
Oh, yes.
Great question. Great question. And by the way, if you Chris is, as I said in the beginning, he's one of the biggest landowners in Somnium space. Chris rents a lot of parcels to people around Somnium, so if you want, instead of like buying right away, if you want to rent parcels, definitely speak to Chris. He's always available. That's just a tip for everybody who is presenting today. Don't fixate on just buying parcel. You can also rent the parcel. You can talk to different owners to actually create some business ideas with them. So let's hurry up a little bit. Artific.
Yeah, so it's actually interesting that Oli coming right after Jim B. with different idea, but sort of the same end goal of getting more musicians into the space, and then at the end bringing, of course, more people. So the question is, do you see like some synergies between those two projects? It's actually like shame that I can't ask the same thing to Jembe, but it's what it is.
Oh yes, I mean I am here because of Jembe. Like the first event that I came to was Jembe's show, and I was mesmerized, and I support all that he does, and I really want to be involved in his performing arts district. I went to school for musical theater, so his project is very close to my heart. I am going to be focusing mainly on EDM events, so that would be a little bit different, but yeah, it could attract a similar audience, but it is a little bit different of events. And also, I think the Twitch thing, it kind of is more introductory to people who aren't necessarily involved in VR. So it's like mine is the appetizer and Jembe is the entree, if you know what I mean.
Woo! Some fancy food. Yes, you can, Jembe. Quickly.
But the thing is, this is perfect. She can bring people that want to perform in these venues that will be available to the members of Somnium Space too. So it can be a great thing. She can use that as a great place to bring in big names, whatever, that want to do these great things. So we can work together with that as well. So yes.
All right. Absolutely. Thank you, Natural. Quick question, quick answer. We are running out of the time.
That's an easy one. I wrote exactly the same things as Chris. NFTs, music NFTs, ticket events. I had the same ideas, and also the synergy of the cross-event performances. So everything has been already talked about. I think wonderful.
Fantastic. Project. I also don't have any more questions. Yeah. We all love Ollie. We all know Ollie. So thank you. Give a big round of applause to Ollie, everybody. Woo!
Thank you, guys.
All right, next slide, Ultra. Thank you. All right, we have Blake entering the arena, Mr. Hot's family. Big round of applause to Blake. Woo! High five! All right, enter the circle of truth, my friend. Enter the circle of truth.
The truth shall be found.
Yes.
Everybody, this is awesome, and my heart's pounding just like I thought it would, and I'm so thankful to be standing next to and be performing, doing this with, and to see the individuals standing there judging me. These are all people that I have fallen in love with for each individual reason. Because you're all just sexy. No, you guys are each individual creators that are just paving a path as pioneers. And that's why I'm so stoked to be here, because I finally found my home. So before I geek the heck out here, I want to explain this extremely simply. And it's been hard for me to say this in just words, because community and an emotion that you feel from that is something that's very hard to explain. So to begin this journey, each and every one of these faces at the bottom here, they're not just the many, many faces of the Huts house, but those are just a few of the many musicians that over the past year have gathered through what was just a fun gathering of listening to musicians showcase remix competitions online. The best thing that happened in my life a year ago, I moved home with Daddy and fell back in love with music. And I found Twitch, and it gave me an outlet to fill the creative yearning of a family that also creates. And I found that on Twitch. And so through the next 11 odd months, I just was having fun making music, and then I stumbled on NFTs. And I'm like, now I'm the crazy guy talking about this stuff to all the dudes, and then I'm like, well, I need to find a place that I can display this in a visible format, and then stumbled into Somnium Space, man. Yeah. So and that's when my mind was blown, and then it just tumbleweeded from there. where I walk in, and this is where Natural Warped, aka Mr. George, I walked into one of his art exhibits by downtown, which is an orb, and it's an orb unlike any of the other orbs. And for some reason, I understood what he's putting down, because all the other orbs are closed energy, and that one was dedicated to Mr. Arthur. And it showed me that this is a way to experience what he's trying to say, which was thank you, Arthur, for creating a portal for all of our minds to plug into. Because if you go look, if you know what I'm talking about, it's just got thank you, Arthur, or for Arthur inside one of the many portal holes. Because Arthur truly has created a hive mind for all of us to explore and perfect. Yeah, baby, let's go! So,
the hive mind.
And then I have an opportunity with Artifics to do an event, and then I'm walking property to property, and I see Chris Bell everywhere, and I'm like, I gotta know this motherfucker. So I reach out to him. He is one of the most kind and professional businessmen that has been guiding me and giving me advice, and he's open to teach me when I'm like, hold on, brother, I'm a caveman, and I'm proudly rent properties from him, and have used these on a weekly basis to engage with esports teams and try to pull our current team of 600 musicians on Twitch and 200 and something locked inside the Discord. So, but I've been trying to get them all in here. And Woofer Blast, my man right there, is my homie. That is he is the overlord. He's also the bouncer. So watch out if you don't what is it? But this place has given me a place to allow creators.
6 minutes.
The whole Twitch channel was to give. It was to give exposure for artists. And to give them a platform to be heard, and now it's evolved into all art forms. So, next slide! So, the HOTS House mission is to provide a home for creators of all kinds to come create and explore their craft. It's a bridge, a welcoming center for Somnium space that's going to be introducing the world, a new Web 3.0 to creators. And that is the big thing. And so this is the welcoming center to provide a place for creators to allow for their fans and for new people to come and be like, whoa, what the hell, an unreal experience, and then be introduced, and they can find their home amongst all of the other communities and pillars that we develop here. And that's how this all begins. It's the welcoming center, baby, and it's the limitless possibilities that we all together provide. We can hit next slide, baby. All right, so within just the past 2 months or so, these are all just some of the amazing people that we're working with and doing events with all the time. And Art and Coffee started with Denevro, built this beautiful body. Ollie, the esports team, Natives GG, Notes for Notes, Roots Group, slamming it down with the Hots Yacht, friggin' Sue, our Odds Casino. We got Ultra Lord, the homie G dude, always paving the path with me inside of 3D, and just Uncanny. Jerry Lou, this is another guy with Hotsbox. But these are just the 2 months of time, the amazing connections that we've made. And that's the web, the connective web between artists, fans, and just newcomers that are using space and looking for somewhere to go and meet friends and build that bond that we can only have out of our local body, because we can't meet these people. So hit the next slide, baby. Boom. All right, yeah. So I come from a marketing background. By day, I actually sell wholesale natural stone. So, if you want any granite or marble hookups, I got you. But, the needs that I see here are really reaching out and educating our new users and people that don't understand what the heck's going on. And that's both on the creator and user side for NFTs and VR, because those, VR is complicated, but then pack NFTs and people's heads spin. So the way you do that is by creating educational content on ways that provide them the satisfaction, may it be songs. And this again combines with everybody here with cool visuals and also the documentation availability for them to look deeper into the subject. And then what are we doing with all this? Rewarding them and then giving them dope ass experiences when they finally get in here. And that's a big piece too, is the web parcel. And I'll get to that in a second here. We'll hit the next one. Yeah. X Factor virality. So with a couple of us, we can do a lot of cool, crazy stuff with zero cleanup, zero budget. And that's what I'm talking about, is group building activities, because engagement and community is conversation starters, and that's what makes things go, you know, to the next volume. And as soon as somebody checks out a web parcel, involves himself in an event, gets to meet a friend, is rewarded something where they get to play from, that is where the connection is made, and when they want to discover more. So let's hop on to the next one. So we'll just skim through these, but anyways, currently already going on Hot House Entertainment. You know, I would like it to be a 24-hour global artist roster, just constantly firing off. We don't need a presentation, like, hey, what's up? It's just people going on all the time. There's no need for anything else. You know, it's just now finding the amount of people. The web parcel, that's the big piece. Having a host there during these events to educate. And maybe our AI, Living Forever, can do something for that, I don't know. But exposing unknown talent, man, providing a platform where the new way of events is having bedroom producers with talent side by side with global events, and side by side global talent, I mean. And that provides like a new medium for artists to find exposure and to monetize what it is that they do for creative arts and now for a living. And I think that a big piece of that is, again, getting creators to know what the heck this is. Let's hit the next slide. We're all creators. Oh, actually, we might need to do it twice. Oh no. Yeah, hit it again. Boom. Okay, product testing. We're all a bunch of creators. We're all doing cutting edge stuff all the time. It's a great place to gather users.
2 minutes.
Do focus groups, test it out, and give response to make their user experience better. Also, great way for exposing artists like Denevero. I'm walking advertisement. I love showing this off, and it's cool that we get to test it out. But this is a network that I want to act as a bridge that brings people into the VR where they can filter into where they call home, may it be here or in any of the other communities. Let's hit the next one. Product testing, I think, is huge, because what better? I love natural warp. What if he said to me, hey, dude, we're testing out these avatars. I'm gonna send each of you who sign up here, and we can meet this special location. Let's test these things out. I'd be freaking there. Daily Huzzah, education. I think that community-led education is gonna be a big thing. And that can be across all different subjects.
1 minute.
And again, when it comes down to creation of content, this is the place for exposure for somebody to educate. And obviously, it'd be some sort of filter for it. But next one. Okay, and this is all the other crazy stuff I'd love to do, which is like stand-up comedy, workout classes, independent film watching, sports watching, gaming. You know, I want to start an AV company, but that's stuff. But most of all, social therapy, man. Mock interviews, mock dates, whatever social anxiety you got. But we can get to that later. Next slide. Steps: build infrastructure, improve immersive experience, expand industries. Next slide. Resource allocation, full-time Blake. That's for sure, and with the budget currently, my first thing of action, web parcel host and event manager, because I think that having somebody there while I do events, and also to help organize it, to give information to anyone that wants to come in, easily accessible, which is the web parcel, that's, I think, the biggest conversion rating to get someone interested in what the hell's on the other side. And then, yes, 3D coordination, obviously, web development and stuff, and then...
All right, wrap it up, please.
All right, wrap it up. With that said, Somnium Space has been my home, and I love every single one in, and you guys truly have inspired me to round my creation, to open to my eyes, and I have to thank each and every one of you guys for that, and I'm very proud to stand alongside of Arthur as a leader, because he's freaking awesome, man. And let's go. Huzzah!
Woo! Round of applause for Blake, everybody!
And then here we go, ready? Oh, yeah!
Oh, don't leave yet, don't leave yet. Go back, go back. We have some questions. It's not that easy, it's not that easy. All right. Okay, judges, we go 2 questions only, so who has the first question now? Anyone has a question?
How do do you plan on actually making money once you spend some of the Somnium money?
So to be fair, I think that the biggest thing that I can do that would be quick is wearables. What cooler thing than to have some dope Hots House wear, dude? You know, whether it be shirts, whether it be hats, whether it be cool glasses and shit. I think that with this becoming a community and showing off some of the cool things that we can integrate, and also the tickets and stuff like that. But more so, yeah, I really think wearables will be an immediate return for immediate, you know, time. But is that something that's possible soon, by the way?
Very nice. I
Yeah,
appreciate the energy.
will be.
Everybody loves Greg. Very nice presentation. Good job. Good luck.
All right, all right. Yeah, Artific, you had a question?
Yeah, yeah. So it was a lot of stuff. So maybe can you like a little bit simplify it for us? Like if you get the money, basically what Arthur asked is the first question of the night. Like what would you do for the simplest step? Where would you spend it? Where are the priorities?
Sure. So one of my things is I am touching a lot. I've got my tentacles in a lot of different arenas. And what I'm struggling with most is somebody that's event managing more so, just managing what I'm pulling in. Because I'm going out and wrangling everything from, you know, artists and DJs and drawers and 3D creators, but also, you know, having esports teams and, you know, companies like Notes for Notes as well that Ollie works with. And we've got our hands in all sorts of industries trying to combine what is something, yeah, with everybody. So I think that, oh my gosh, I just did that. I just went off the subject, but I'm sorry, Artific. I just lost my track.
All right, no worries, no worries. Thank you very much, Blake. Round of applause to Blake, everybody! Huzzah!
You guys want some tea now? Classic Blake Newman. I went on my tangents, bro. I went on my tangents.
All right, next slide, Ultralord, and next up is Fish Brain. Go to the circle of truth, my man.
Let's go fish! Woo!
Whoa, hello. Well, let me just untangle myself.
Yo.
How is everybody?
Doing great. Woo!
How are you, brother? Woo!
Good. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by, this is 404 FM, and basically what we're doing is we want to bring music, NFTs, events, and content to Somnium, and I'll explain to you in what form as we go through the presentation. But let's go to next slide, please.
You're getting like feedback. Could you like mute yourself? Sorry about that. Yeah, thanks, bro.
Right, next slide.
Next slide, please. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So just a little bit about myself and sort of our crew and what we do. Me, my friend BSK, Gat, and another guy, Deduku, we met on the blockchain. We met through the Metaverse, through exploring different avenues for how we can get our art out there. And if you don't mind, what I really wanted to do is kind of show you my verse on this track, because it kind of gives you an idea of our sort of Metaverse manifesto. And we don't have a beat, so instead I'm just going to do the a cappella, if that's okay.
Blake, let's do a bit. Or maybe Quartz can do a beat.
Please. Yeah, I mean, if we could get a beat, that would be amazing. But
Quartz, can you do a beat?
Until the Quartz gets it. God damn it. He's got it. Quartz got, he's strumming it. Yeah, you got it, Fish. Smash that acapella, baby. He'll come in.
All right, let's go. Okay, so
Rise, Blake, let's go.
This one is about the music industry and how the music industry has been taking from artists, and we're taking the power back. So, who bring the value? Who bring the value? Nah, not you, man. We bring the value. We bring the value. We bring the volume. You bring cuts and the costs and the complications. Pour one out to the poor road. Middlemen executives, most of them hecklers, don't want to let them in. They ain't going to represent, don't know what a record is. That's middlemen. Scrap that, get rid of, because I'm so sick of them. They can say hello to my little friend. ERC, that's a smart contract. Coming from the heart, make your heart contract. They ain't got the half, take your half of that. They ain't got the answer to answer that. Ask for your share, I ain't asked for a share. Sharks wanna tear at the art that you share. Ask for your soul and take half of your share. Then you get a tweet where they laugh in your ear. Paid and exposure, exposed, that's funny. These whales taking over to grab that money. This game isn't over. Mind control, yeah, they roll over. Expose that money. Drop kick till you cough upon that dosh, that's mine now. I'm highbrow, yeah. Like a little slit upon your eyebrow, I'm high now. Stacking my supply that I'm staking. My life on the line, this tide is rising. Meditate till my third eye's wide open. Mind controlling. I'm on some missy shit. My inner circle, know what the mission is. I saw the light and the fire inside, what the vision is. Mind is limited, microphone killing it. Letters with the message, I finally delivered it. Boomtown repping it, no hot stepping it. Wanna get wrecked, you're next, I'm at your neck, so get to protecting it. It's you they owe.
Woo!
Thank you guys. That was the very first Somnium performance from Fishbrain CTRL representing. Okay, so
beautiful.
Appreciate that, guys. All right, so let's go to the next slide, please, and I'll explain exactly what this is all about.
5 minutes.
So, thank you very much, Arthur. We've got 404 artists. That is what we're aiming to bring to the table. And we're putting together basically people from all over the world. We've got people from Africa, America, basically the all of the continents. How many continents are there? 1, 2, 3. I've lost, I can't remember exactly how many continents there are because
7.
It's different for different. Thank you. But yeah, we're spanning the globe in terms of connections, and we want to bring all those people to the blockchain basically. And how we're going to do that is we're going to create a collection of 404 tracks, and those tracks are going to be debuting each and every one of these artists. So if there's any artists here that would be interested in joining this endeavor, we'd be happy to have you. We've got beats ready. If anybody wants to just jump and throw down some lyrics, or if anybody wants to contribute art, that would be amazing. And yeah, it's all going to go into this one collection, because I think that would be a great way to contextualize sort of a collective of artists. Like the goal is to have like a Wu-Tang style collective of artists globally. Okay, so next up, land. We're hoping to get, basically make connections with the artists and the landowners. So like everybody who owns a land who would like sort of artists to be performing on their land and kind of like, you know, that kind of thing. We want to be making those connections. Like I have 2 land parcels myself, so I can contribute in that way. So, you know, whatever we can do to make that happen, we'd like to make those connections. And, you know, quite a few people on our network have land as well, so we can lean on that. So, and lastly, the tour. So we would like to be touring across the metaverse, not just Somnium Space, but obviously this is the Somnium Space Creators Fund, so we would like to take it across Somnium. We'd like to fill out as many parcels as possible with acts and with, I mean, hip-hop is what we do, and that's what we're bringing to the table as CTRL, so that's kind of the angle we're coming from. And yeah, and so if we hit the next slide, please. Okay, so yeah, I basically just spoke about the tracks, so let's hit the next slide again. So, sorry about this. Yeah, so let's cycle through these. So the land, yeah, want to connect all the landowners. Yeah, here we go. So who is 404? We're recruiting 404 people, the missing ones, the ones that fly under the radar, the ones that the traditional world ignored. Worldwide Wu-Tang style global collective of musicians, artists, MCs on the blockchain. Every member is a leader who took the step forward to take control of their own art, work with other musicians, and show the world that the way is blockchain. It's Yudeo. So Deruku is a shining example of our community. He's made it his mission to onboard 1 million African people to the blockchain.
2 minutes.
And it's this kind of undying passion in this community that, you know, keeps the community strong. And the mission of 404 is to connect these dots and these pillars from different communities together in one big shared effort called 404. Next slide, please. So, a famous quote from Satoshi Nakamoto. He said that Somnium space allows for a level of interactivity, immersion, and festival feeling unmatched by any other metaverse. And you can look that up.
So true!
I've read it.
Satoshi, smart guy.
You can see him there. That was a talk that he did a while back. Yeah, so you can go look that up if you want. Next slide, please. And we want to be onboarding, like bringing people to the hype train, and that's sort of, it's the perfect opportunity to onboard members of various music, art communities into the metaverse, bring them along the hype train. So, yeah, we'd like to work with you guys to help us make that happen. The next slide, please. And the advertising sort of the slogan we're going with is VR is your ticket. So, so I've got the same text there, but let's ignore that. So VR is your ticket to the metaverse. We want to make it so that, like, instead of paying £200 or $200 for a ticket to a festival, you pay that money for a headset instead, and then you're in the metaverse. That's the sort of mentality we want to get across. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this is a great example of a project that we'd like to bring to Somnium. This is the Cipher, and this happens in, it's an event that's already happening. We just need to bring it to Somnium. And I'm speaking to Cipher and the crew at the moment, and they're up for this. And basically what they do is, it's a rap cipher that happens twice a week in Token Smart community and in the Cipher community, which is their own community. And we want to bring this into VR because we have body language. Like, I could perform earlier and move my hands around. Like, the immersion level is crazy. Yeah, we could do things like you can tell when somebody is about to come in, which is has been a problem in the Discord ciphers. It's like sometimes it's difficult to know who's coming in because body language. There's no body language.
Less than a minute.
So yeah, we want to. That's the first thing that we'd like to do is bring the Cipher into VR, and we're already working with Space Painter. He's going to help. He's helping with bringing some like visuals in and things like that. And we're going to be building. I've already got a stage set up on my parcel, and yeah, so that's what we're trying to bring to Somnium to begin with. This would be the lowest hanging fruit, in my opinion. So next slide, please. And the budget, yes. So the budget will be used for rewarding participants who may join in VR or 2D for prizes for spitting bars. So basically, yeah, if you're joining the Cipher, then you're going to earn some Somnium cubes, and that's kind of a way that we incentivize people to come and perform. And it's the same way it works in the Cipher. Is like they have a similar system there. We'd like to bring that same incentive system to Somnium.
All right, the time is out. Give a round of applause to Fish Brain. Thank you. All right, quick 2 questions from the...
Any questions?
Yes, we do have questions. I have a first question. I'll go with the first question. So, sure. My standard classic question is, you get the budget, let's say day after tomorrow. What are the first 3 steps you're doing right away? What is the next steps?
So the first step, so I mentioned the Cipher is the lowest hanging fruit, but also the CTRL, like our crew, we want to bring us guys into the metaverse first. Like my man Dedeku, we want to get him a VR headset and a computer that can run it. And sort of, when we do the Cipher, we want to be using that as a way to incentivize people to, they can maybe upgrade their headset with the earnings that they get through winning the Cipher, for example. So kind of, I think with the cubes being used as prizes mostly as the main use case for them, it will be like a sort of form of, instead of proof of work, I think of it as like proof of performance. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm envisioning.
All right, and one small suggestion: since you do a lot of events on the Discord, I think also an easy transition and low-hanging fruit is to also use Somnium Web, because then people don't need headsets right away. Yes. And on Somnium Web, you can do a lot of interaction, even visual interaction within the avatars already. But that's just a suggestion. All right, you had a question, Chris?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I just recently met Spotty Wi-Fi, who was making a couple crypto songs about CryptoPunks and stuff, and he introduced me to Cipher, and I think I had a quick DM with you as well at one point, but I had an idea to keep everything consolidated on one parcel, like the Eminem movie 8 Mile, where they all freestyle and battle inside that little shelter area, so you're one parcel instead of having a bunch with a small budget to start. And then the second thing was to possibly, instead of paying every single person that comes in and sings, maybe give a contest. So one event, the first $100 goes to the first event this week, and then next week you have a second event, and the second $100 goes to the winner of that event too. So just a couple suggestions.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. That was Fishbrain, everybody, with 404.fm. Woo!
Let's go, Fishbrain!
All right. Next up, we go to Olgelta. So Olgelta, Circle of Trust. Woo! Round of applause to Olgelta, everybody. Okay, let's wait until. Okay, wait. Let's go through the slides. Let's wait until we get to Olgelta's slides. And here we are. Let's go. Your 10 minutes start now.
Alrighty, hello, I am Olgelta, and I'm known in another world as Carla Knopf. I'm a lifelong artist. I spent over 30 years as a painter, and then about 5 years ago, I started teaching myself to digital model. And so that's pretty much what I do now, is I completely, I've taught myself how to do pretty much all the processes involved in digital modeling and animation. And so, what I wanted to do, the core project here, is that I'm going to use my artist parcel that Somnium Estates has graciously let me use until February 28th. And I'm going to use that to create a mascot shop. So this will have brandable mascots, and I'm kind of realizing how well this syncs in with all these entertainment venues where you could actually use a mascot to, to help advertise the events. But also, I kind of expanded the project because I realized there's some other things I want to do that are a little bit more odd. And so I thought, I'll have this shop that's a mascot shop, and then I'll also have it be kind of like a roadside attraction. So it'll be a roadside reliquary of Metaverse mysteries. So next slide, please.
Majora's Mask style.
So we already have, when I say mascots, I'm talking about a real wide range of things, from just like signage that's shaped a certain way, to actual sculptures, to like vernacular buildings. And we already have some of that going on in Somnium space. And I think that's one of the really interesting things, one of the important things about the space is we have all these landmarks, and they kind of serve as touchstones. They let you know where you are in the space, whether it's the island, or the dog, or I think the robot still exists, but I'm not sure. and so they work as touchstones, but they're not just that. There's something else going on. They're kind of like they kind of trigger our imagination. So I think they're just a really important part of the ambiance of the space, is to have these kind of oddball things around. Next slide, please. And so this is just, a reference to, mostly in the United States from the 1950s on, we had these same kind of landmarks. And I want to talk a little bit about frameworks, because as an artist, I work with frameworks.
There's your barrel, man.
When what? Oh, barrel. So I work with frameworks, and I'm thinking of these sort of as a framework. Like if you look at the Randy's Donuts, that's a donut shop, but it doesn't have to be. These landmarks, they serve this other purpose. And as a framework, it kind of lets you do whatever you want. So it didn't have to be a donut. He could have done any kind of large-scale, odd, strange thing, and because it is a landmark, it would have worked. So I like the freedom of that. I like that you can do whatever you want within this restrictive framework. Next slide, please. And so back to the shop, these are kind of the specifics of the actual mascot shop. And again, that's kind of, I see that as a framework. Or maybe as a front for these other things that I'm going to do. So it's all going to blend together, but this is going to be the main framework of what it is. It's just a mascot shop. So the mascots themselves, they'll be realistic, but I'll also have them optimized for performance. Partied up with shader effects, so that'll be, I really want to make these kind of really beautiful things. And I plan on having them available for the builder, so someone could put these on their parcel, they could put them in a world. And then I also would like to use these on avatars as kind of like a mobile advertising. And then that would be something I'd have to work with Somnium Space about, because there'd have to be, I'm sure, some kind of parameters in place. It's one thing when I do that myself out in the world when I'm by myself, but to have it as an official thing, we could maybe set up some kind of parameters for what that mobile billboard would be or could be, or when it could run. And then like the partial version, it'll be able to rotate and have the shaders.
5 minutes. The
mobile version and the world version, they'll be animated. So next slide, please. Okay, this is, so it's Ogelta's Mascots and More. So this is the more. Ogelta kind of did some archaeology, and she found some things in Somnium Space. These would be in the reliquary. I like the idea of playing with the context of the metaverse. So like this avatar arm is all beat up. So it's like, it's something that exists that's older than Somnium Space. So what's that mean? So I kind of like playing with those kind of ideas a little bit, like what would that even be? I also like the idea of this is a relic, a relic that you found, but then you also maybe make that into a giant mascot sculpture for a space. And then what's that, what is that? I'm kind of curious. Next slide, please. This is another what if scenario for the and more. What if Ogelta found a tree that looked like it was a cross-pollination between Decentraland, and CryptoVoxels? What would that even look like? Or maybe Ogelta even decides she'll just make a little garden and just propagate these things herself. So that's just sort of more of a sort of investigative and explorative things that I can do with their reliquary part. Next slide, please. Okay, and this is just, I think of this as art and entertainment and commerce. So I'm combining, different intentions. This is, when I have this framework, the reason I like having frameworks is you can be explorative and experimental, and this helps you expand what you're doing. And I think of the metaverse as a place for that. We're kind of trying to expand what our reality is. Next slide, please. And I can't, I love saying frameworks, so frameworks equal a structure for exploration. That really is, I mean, I've been an artist for so long, it took me a while to realize that really is my main purpose and goal in making art, is this sort of expansion of our ideas by working in an exploratory manner. This is called the Sad Grotesque. I kind of like it. I think it would make a really cool mascot in an odd way. Next slide, please. And so as far as the funds, I'm kind of like, I need time. This is probably a little too personal and too much information, but a couple years ago I had to really dramatically change my work, and I went from being self-employed for 25 years to being an hourly worker, and it's fine, the job's fine and everything. But time-wise, I went from, I'd work on historical architecture, art restoration, and so I went from having these gigs that were 1 to 6 months long, and then I'd have 1 to 6 months to work on art. So I had all these big, huge chunks of time. And so for the last 2 years, I've been trying to cram everything into like the weekend. So what this fund will do for me is I live pretty cheap, and it'll literally fund 1.5 to 2 weeks a month of just working on this project for 3 months. Because as a time off from work, leave from work. Next slide, please.
1 minute.
All right. I think we're close. Okay, so in summary, this is an art project that explores content and context creation within the metaverse. Ogelta's mascot shop will function as a working business, and then it's also kind of the framework, this conceptual framework for the odd stuff that I'm going to be adding to the shop. And then as an optional service, we'll have the avatar-hosted mascots. And again, that'll be something that I'll work with Somnium Space to see how that can happen. And that could create even like a gig economy in Somnium Space where we have sponsors that actually pay people to wear their branded avatar. And then we have the roadside attraction. So it's art plus entertainment plus commerce equals question mark, because this is an exploration. It's got the framework, it's going to be the shop, but it's also going to be completely an experiment. Next slide, please.
Let's wrap it up.
And so thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ogelta. Round of applause to Ogelta. All right, let's do a quick round of questions. Let me choose two judges to ask the question. It will be Nature Warp and Chris Bell. So Nature Warp, if you have a question, now is the time to ask.
Yeah, about the landmarks, are you planning to doing this as a service across all the map, or are you planning to rent parcels and spread them across the map?
I have planned on doing it as an NFT, an OpenSea NFT. I'm open to having it be, since this is a paid funding period, I'm open to it being some kind of a free and a free thing, long term, obviously if I set something up as an NFT, that would be good, but I'm open to it being something that's available just based on what I do. I just really want this time to make this happen.
All right.
So for example, you make the object, you mint it, and the buyer can download it and place it on his parcel, for example.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Sounds great.
And I'm not sure how the worlds work yet, but the world, I assume, would work the same way.
All right.
And again, if it's on the mobile avatar, then it could be something that moves around and and be animated. But it can be up in the sky, rotating on a parcel. If it's in the world or on an avatar, it can be an animated character.
All right, Chris.
Nice. All right. I had a similar question, but let's go with a couple of numbers questions. How many of these have you created already? How many have you sold? And how many do you think that you can create and sell with $1,000?
Well, I think I have a whole lot of things that are already made that I plan on reworking. Like I have some things that I made for even faster game engines where it had to be even more performant. So I'll take some of those and I'll actually retexture them so they're a little more interesting and more detailed, but yet still performant. So I have a lot of things over the years that are already there. Part of this whole work thing is that I end up starting a lot of things, and then because it's weekend to weekend, they don't go anywhere. So I have a lot of models that I could, rework. I like the idea of starting with these. You see these creatures, these are from the Cambrian explosion era, and I kind of like starting with a whole collection that are just Cambrian characters. I think that would be kind of neat. You'd be able to go around the Somnium space, and you'd be able to spy each of the different specimens from that prehistoric era. So I think that is where I plan on starting, is with those.
Very cool. Good luck.
All right. Thank you. Round of applause to Ogelta.
All right, thank you.
Just give me a second. I'll be back in a second.
Are we hugging or are we okay, hugs.
We're slapping each other on the back.
I don't have a back.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus is the name of the Lord.
All right, everybody. You think it was the end? No. We're just getting started. So, the next up, is going to be Andy Roots. My man, let's go into the circle of truth. Round of applause to Andy. Woo! Mr. Green Screen, would you join this stage, sir? Thank you. All right.
I've seen it in the world.
Oh, thank you.
All right, everybody. Oh my goodness. Exactly. Why being small if you can be big? All right.
Wow.
Let's see now. Hello.
Yeah,
okay.
you
see?
Yeah.
All right, we can hear you.
Gosh,
so
how do you do it so
try.
fast?
Your
This
10
way.
minutes starts now.
All right. So, welcome everybody, and thank you for joining this event. The first thing I want to talk about is how the metaverse, for me, is the next stage of social interaction for humans. It's going to be how we are going to be able to have larger and more meaningful relationships with people across the globe than ever before. So starting that, I want to thank you guys for being part of this, the pioneers are metaverses. This is literally the start of an era that is going to be in history books, people. So welcome to history, everybody.
Let's go. Yeah, history.
Oh, okay, so cool. This one is working. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about myself just to start. I'm a dad. I'm a digital nomad. I travel the world, and I work through internet and anywhere that I can. I travel about 5-6 countries already, and part of metaverses for me is something very close because it's a way for me to travel beyond what I do currently. I can go see countries, I can go meet people, but in metaverses, I can have the whole universe in just one place with everybody's dreams in one place. So this is why I wanted to do this project here in Somnium, because it is in reality the best metaverse platform currently in existence.
Yeah.
So I'm a digital artist. I've been doing digital arts for more than 10 years. I've had over 15 businesses, and from of them about 12 I would say failed because I never continued them. But I've made money. I come from a family of multiple businesses, and this is a kind of second nature to me to do these types of ventures. So I want to talk to you today about Roots Club. We are building communities through NFT collectibles. Next slide, please. Okay, so what is a Roots Club? It's basically a line of venues which will house the talent that NFT collectible communities bring into the metaverse itself. Some of you know me from doing VR models, and others know me from having the BAPs, which are an NFT collection space on the punks and the apes. And I did that collection because I wanted to unify the two largest communities in the NFT space, which are huge. The punks and the apes are communities that are very tight-knit and are very focused in doing big things. And I thought to myself, what if I made a collectible that could unify these collections? And to my surprise, I did the collectible, and my man Blake was the first one to purchase. This here is the first ever BAB that I built. I made a VR avatar, and he has it over there now. This is why I'm wearing it. So this collection, after I did a little research and I learned, I sold it out. It's completely sold out currently, and I've had kind of a little boom on followers and people reaching out to me, and to most of them, to not say all of them, most of them are ape owners or punk owners, because of course I was trying to build this bridge between them, and that's what I'm getting at this point. So that moves me to my next slide. So basically the roadmap that I wanted to move from now on is Roots Club is going to try to house the talent, like I mentioned before, which is going to be artists that are from our community, comedians, and all of those that we've been talking throughout the night, which is basically bringing talent into the metaverse. I want to do it through the collectible scene because it creates a tight-knit community that wants to help each other. The roadmap is releasing NFT collectibles as we have here. The BAB is released. We're gonna do the last drop next week, hopefully. So far everything's going well. And we have a little following that it's going to grow more and more as we keep diving into these communities. Second is to leverage the club. Having these venues is gonna allow for people from these communities that don't have or that haven't had experience inside metaverses to come in through the community with the education, and they'll feel secure that it's coming from someone from their own community that it's allowing them to expose their work and their talents. And third, of course, is to expand. As community grows, we'll be trying to acquire more venues, more places, even in the worlds that are coming from Jamie's talent area, and just trying to allow them to expose themselves more and more through the metaverse. Next slide, please. So what type of events? Basically, we've talked about this throughout the whole night, but comedy jams, art jams, esports, theater, and a little bit extra, I would like to try to bring more socially and mindful content into the platform, which will include influencer talks, life coach talks, spiritual talks, religious talks, TED talks, and you know, concerts and so on. But TED talks, spiritual talks, life coach talks are things that I believe are life-changing to a lot of people. It's something that we can have here, and a lot of people are in VR because they have a little of social anxiety like I do. I'm super shy in real life. Like, I really don't socialize as much, but in VR I feel like I have a nicer, more tight-knit community based on NFTs. So most of these events are gonna be started in web because as we know, VR is a little confusing to a lot of people. So we're gonna do events, start these on the web platform, hopefully to teach through education, move them towards 2D and then VR gradually. Next slide, please. So the financials. Financials are as simple as the project. Basically, the money, the currency is gonna go into talent, the parcel, promotional media, and marketing. Next slide, please. Basically, this is gonna go into these parts, and we understand that it's not gonna probably cover all the costs that are, you know, in relation to something like this because it's a rather large project. However, our common collections have built-in ROIs, return of investments. Our collections are based with the idea in mind that a percentage of what we acquire in the sales is going to be reinvested back into NFT community collectible projects that the community themselves are going to choose. This could be a concert, this could be an event, this could be a record deal, this could be you know, anything that anybody can imagine. We're going to have funding from our side and with Somnium, if possible, to bridge them together and have enough to support any dream possible. Next slide, please. So basically, this is like a roadmap, how we expect our work to, and the results of our work. Basically, we are around this area, we release the BAPs, you saw the bear. Basically, that's our upcoming collection. Nobody has actually seen the bear before, so you guys are the first. And this is going to be released hopefully in the next week as well. So currently, we expect after we release the BAPs and the bears, if we get funded, we are gonna start bringing 10 concurrent visitors weekly into the Somnium space with our events. We're moving on into December. Hopefully, we get to 50 concurrent visitors, so on to 100 by February 22. And by summer of next year, 500 concurrent visitors weekly moving through our platform because they are from our released collections. Here in 22, we're going to release another collection, which is Crypto D&D, which is in the works currently, and we hope to release it by the end of the year. Next slide, please.
Yeah.
So basically, that is the presentation. I appreciate you guys for listening. And
all right, round of applause to Andy. All right. There's a lot of love between the bear and the ape. All right, that's good. I love when animals love each other. All right, I have a question right away. Okay, I'll start with a question quickly. Thank you, Andy. I have a question regarding the timeline. You've shown the timeline. You know, right now we are in July. You're showing the timeline starting in October. Why the gap? What is going on between? You know, you'll be if you'll get funded, you'll be getting funds like this week. Like, what is the gap about?
So the money basically is gonna, if we get funded this week, for example, we're gonna hold it for a minute and to be able to really build up these communities and release those two collections. Those two collections are basically the funding part of this, and we have never been, you know, lose with money. We like to invest our money, and when we're sure we're gonna get a return of investments, to at least support that investment, you know what I mean, to get that back and not be a waste. So the funding, like I mentioned, is gonna be invested in the talent. So we're gonna build those communities hopefully in the next couple of months. It could be sooner, it could be a lot sooner. I just don't like to overpromise and underdeliver. These are the worst case scenarios that I put here. Basically, we are going to build these communities, which is happening currently. We have about 25 to 30 active members in the BAPS, and we have a lot of people that have reached out with nice amounts of followings in Twitter, collectors and influencers, because of the bears that we've been doing in the backstage. That's my answer to you. Basically, we are going to hold the funds until we know the community is solid, and then we're going to use it when we know we're going to get a return of investment with the events and such.
Okay, so just a comment from my side. If you get funded, I encourage you not to wait. I encourage you to at least release some part of the funds to actually get the community going. I mean, if you talk about Somnium Web, you can get 10 people to Somnium Web concurrent, like almost on a daily basis. It should not be a problem. And then you just, you know, you use the tools which are available in Somnium to actually grow your community, not other way around. So that's just my comment. And Artific, do you have any question for Andy?
Yeah, actually no. No, not at this point.
All right, Chris.
Thank you.
So you're building all this stuff yourself right now, and you said that Blake bought one already, so you're already minting them into NFTs and selling them?
So we have a collection, which are the Bored Ape Punks. It's currently we have 50 on the collection. It's going to be 1,000, but we made 50 up front, which are made by me by hand, not by an AI. That's the Genesis collection. It's already sold out. We are going to release the remaining 950 next week, which are going to be built by an AI, and it's going to be it's the same collection, but not Genesis drop. The bears are going to be dropped next week, but they are not sold currently at this point.
All right, thank you. That was it. Thank you, Andy. Thank you for the presentation. Yeah. Round of applause for Andy.
Traveling across the metaverses and collecting NFTs in his bag.
All right, next up, Karim Bonya. Are we having you? Are you here? Yes, you are here in the circle of truth.
Yeah, we'll check.
Welcome to Karim Bonya, everybody. Round of applause. Woo!
Okay, I'm excited.
Let's go. So your 10 minutes starts now. And we don't hear you, so check your microphone.
Unmute.
Unmute your microphone.
Interesting.
Press M.
Let's wait. I paused the time. We need some quartz. Give us some waiting time. Thank you. Karim Bonya, try to say something. It worked before. I know it's possible. Almost. Yo, strange voice. This is hilarious. We hear only this. I mean, it's comedy, so I mean, it should be like that, right?
Yeah.
Karimboyan, try.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you. All right, your time starts now. 10 minutes. Loud and clear.
Perfect. Hello, everybody. Thanks for this opportunity. So my project is called Comedy Corporation, and it's basically, I mean, the one-stop shop for just everything comedy. Next slide, please. Yeah, so the Comedy Corporation will be the first VR-based open mic comedy club in the Metaverse, and then it will, you know, we'll look to expand things out to improv comedy and maybe magicians and performance artists and anything to do with comedy. It'll also be a place where comedians can get together and share jokes. People can submit jokes that can be pulled out of a pool. I mean, it's just a joke factory, right? So you come here, you perform in front of an audience. Audience members can get pulled into the performances, just like any improv show. And yeah. So next slide, please. Okay. So basically, how did I get here? Is I have a personal project that's called Karimbonia, and it was this idea I had where I scan myself, 3D scan myself, and I create this world where, like, everybody you meet is me. So it's kind of like a weird, funky, weird. It's just you know, I dress up as everything and mimes, and I could do stand-up comedy, and I could be a musician, I could be a DJ the next day, and all that stuff. I'm also here because, you know, comedy's been like a big part of my life. I love making people laugh, and did stand-up comedy, did improv. I kind of lost touch with that because I moved away, and I was always I ended up being in a city where I didn't even speak the native language a lot of the time. So I stopped doing stand-up, and now with the Metaverse, you know, you could just be anywhere and you can perform in front of people and tell your jokes and reach, you know, a really large audience. I'm a 3D artist. I've been doing 3D for like since I was 13. That was like back in 1988 on my Amiga. I think I found a guy that was like I could buy like a cracked 3D software, and just I started doing 3D back then. So long time ago. Recently I started seeing like, okay, Metaverse and avatars and stuff, and now I kind of see how I can merge these things together, and I got into NFTs. I don't know how many people have heard of the MeBits, but it's the next, it's the 3D avatars NFT project that Larva Labs just came out with, the creators of the CryptoPunks. And the minute I saw that, I was like, okay, that is something I can jump into. That's like an NFT I can just latch onto and start incorporating my Karimbonia project into that. So next slide, please. Okay, so why Somnium Space? Well, I'm an artist with a passion for creating 3D content that's humorous. You know, I'm always using different techniques and different technologies and stuff. I love comedy, love making people laugh, and my ultimate goal for Karimbonia was to just be like the first virtual comedian that you do. You do a stand-up show, and after that, you know, you could bring more people in and host events that are based around this. And as a platform, I'm the 3D evangelist for the MeBits DAO, so for this NFT project, and I'm already in touch with, you know, evangelists for Somnium Space, evangelists for Crypto Voxels, Decentraland, Sandbox, and I just, from what I've seen quality-wise and VR-wise, I think this is the place I would like to start something like this in. So next slide, please. Okay, so basically the benefits to the society, the community would be to, you know, just having the first open mic stand-up place where, you know, people can show up as their avatars and tell jokes as their avatars. You know, like if you come in looking like a cat, you could tell cat jokes, and you could come in looking like an ogre and tell ogre jokes. And this is like, and I see it more of like a Star Wars cantina where, you know, you walk in and people can just express, you know, they could do a show as yourself, as an avatar, or as any creature, or, you know, like it could be cat night and everybody shows up as cats and it's just all cat themes and stuff. So it just, you know, we're just thinking out loud here where we can go with this. I would like to bring Karimbonia to Somnium Space. I also have kind of like a matching Meebits avatar that I've dressed up as, and I'll show you this afterwards. And, you know, those are two things that I would like to bring in where people can see, you know, what an NFT project would look like, an NFT avatar, versus side by side with your real scanned, like you in doing stand-up comedy. I think this would create a lot of buzz. I've only been in this for, you know, like really dive into it for a couple of months, and already with the Meebits DAO, we're working on plugins,
3 minutes,
sync software, yeah, and just you know, just creating buzz with the Bored Ape Yacht Club and the CryptoPunks and the Meebits, and, you know, like just my vision for this is just bring everything together, you know, like in one comedy venue, so that we could joke about stuff, and, you know, you can heckle a Bored Ape, you know, dressed up as whatever avatar you want. So moving on to the next next slide, please. Okay, so so now what? So really quickly, for me, secure land, Insomnium Space. We already have some, you know, kind of big names with lots of land that are part of the Meebits DAO. So this could be a way to bring in that community to this project. Just build a kick-ass comedy club and performance venue. Like I said, like a cantina style, where everybody feels comfortable. Prepare my avatar and kind of try to develop some lip software, so we can host, you know, we can host and give, I don't know, maybe give tools so that people can lip sync in different ways, like the, you know, we already did tests with the Terrence and Phillips from South Park, where their mouth opens up completely, you know, the top of their head pops off. Just working on developing tools like this already. Create social media and promo videos to attract comedians. Like I said, I'm a 3D artist, and that's what I do for a living. I work on big live events and music shows and stuff. Create events, so there'll be stand-up, improv, game shows, sketch comedy, you name it, everything comedy. Host, you know, as part of like the first steps, host the first Metaverse open mic stand-up comedy show, and then, you know, use the funds to do R&D testing, optimizations for the avatars and everything else. There we go. So usage of funds, research and development,
less than a minute.
Lip sync software. 1 minute? Sorry.
Less than a minute, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, the 3D design, modeling the venue, build it, any production costs like preparing 3D content, helping people prepare 3D content to perform there, invest the funds directly into developing and upgrading the Comedy Corporation. And can you just skip to the next one really quick? Yeah, okay, yeah, let's go to so this is what kind of brought me here, because this is what I'm currently working on. I just scanned myself in 3D, and I haven't even like incorporated myself into the Somnium space yet, but this is what's in the works. I'm matching my avatar to my 3D scan of myself. And if you could just back up one more. So just, I won't read through all of this, but this is kind of like my background. So I'm a multidisciplinary freelance 3D artist. I've worked in automotive, design, entertainment, music industries. I've worked on, like, I create visuals for Justin Timberlake, Cher, Rihanna, Britney Spears, you know, like all these big name artists, Calvin Harris, DJ Tiesto. I'm the 3D evangelist for the Meebits DAO, where, you know, I help the community build, you know, like, figure out what to do.
The time is up. I'm sorry. Thank you. Round of applause for Cambodia. Woo! Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
All right. So question time. I have a question actually. What is? How long have you been in Somnium so far? So what's your actual real experience with Somnium, and do you own a VR headset? So those two questions in one question.
I have a VR headset. I have the Rift, so I've been using that since it first came out. Somnium Space, in particular, I don't have a lot of experience in it, but being a part of the Meebits DAO, I'm basically working with everybody. Like we have like a channel for the Decentraland crypto voxels. Somnium Space, and I don't know, Supermassive, he's the evangelist for Somnium Space, and I've spoken to him quite a bit, and I've actually like gone in and looked around and tried to figure out like which metaverse makes sense for us to put our energy into. You know, and with the DAO, there's for sure there's different opinions on what is the best. There's a lot of people on the side of Sandbox and stuff, but I really think that this is kind of, I think this is the place for me, and bringing that Meebits, you know, together at the same time will bring, you know, there's a large community, there's a large amount of people that are vested in this project as well. So I think it would be a good place to kind of showcase both, like, you know, how take the real world, take 3D scans, take photogrammetry, take just any new technology and put it in here. And yeah, I don't know if like I answered that question.
Yeah, you did.
But like with Sandbox and everything else, it's like, okay, you're working with voxels and you're working with a certain look. Whereas here, you know, I'm looking around the room, and this is like, everybody's got super cool avatars, and I wish I would have had mine prepared in time, but I think this is the right place, I think. Yeah, so I know I get lots of resistance on our Meebits DAO channel for a Somnium Space, but I'd be willing to try to sell them on this concept, like coming in here, and yeah. So.
All right, thank you. All right, any other question from the judges?
Yeah, sure. You've been, you know, this has been a great presentation and everything, and you're a good performer, and you're talking about all the things that you can do, and a few other people have talked about creating these venues as well, and I think that the one that succeeds out of all the people who have presented tonight are the ones who can sell the tickets, the ones who can come and actually get some either NFT sales or some sort of sell some tickets and get some revenue so that you can recreate and keep doing what you love doing, and what, you know, all of these people have loved doing so far, that they've talked about singing and performing in different ways. So how do you plan on bringing the numbers back, getting that income?
Yeah, so I know I had to rush this presentation because I was camping. Anyways, long story short, I have I'm definitely gonna probably the first month will be feeling out what the community comes back with in terms of feedback. But for me, jokes as NFTs are, I think there's something there that we can sell. In terms of live comedy shows, I really want to recreate that idea of like, you go to an open mic night and there's a 2-drink minimum, so the drink sales, for example, would be NFTs. So you can go into a music venue, there's a 2-drink minimum, and you can choose your drinks, and you get them that would be an NFT as well. Every performance could be sold as NFTs. Jokes themselves can be sold and monetized like as NFTs. As a comedian, you know, the number one thing that happens everywhere is like people will just steal your jokes. You'll go to an open mic night and you'll tell a joke, and the next thing you know, like everybody's like takes a version of that, and then they'll, you know, you'll see it somewhere else the next time. So having them, you know, as NFTs, you could basically, you know, you can hold the right to that joke almost. So yeah, it gives you the right of that.
All right.
What else? I had some other ideas.
Yeah, thank you. Cool. Sorry, we are running out of time. So thank you very much. Round of applause for Cambodia. Woo, everybody!
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right. The last, but for sure not least, is Chilled. Going into the circle of trust. Audience, I would love to ask you to be silent. Thank you very much. Jill, go into the circle, please. Navigate there. I know you can do it. You're getting close. You're getting... Yes. One more step. Small step for Jill. Huge step for audience. Thank you very much. You are there. And now the turn. Now the turn. We can do the turn. Can we do the turn? 1, 2, yes! Woo! Welcome! Round of applause to Chilled! Woo! We can hear you, but if you can speak a little bit louder, that will be even more fantastic.
Get in the middle of the circle.
Let me try with microphone.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
That's better.
Okay.
Next slide.
Okay.
Ultra.
Yeah, perfect.
Whoa,
okay.
what? It's so cool.
All right. Let's go. Your 10 minutes starts now.
Okay. Well, the thing that I wanted to present to you was a little bit on the designer side, but everyone tells their story, so I will tell this presentation as a story. Earthman is the first community that has believed in me as a builder for Somnium space. I am a Metaverse builder, and the first Metaverse that I have known was Somnium, because it's a beautiful place. And I really loved Somnium, but I never had the chance to build on it. Earthman, they gave me this chance. They saw this work of mine, which is a floating city, a floating alien city, and they told me that they wanted a parcel like that. Okay. So
next
here
slide.
I am a designer. Yeah, next slide. I am a designer, and Earthman is a community. It's a community of artists and collectors. Earthman creates comics and NFT comics, which are collectibles and are very suited for collectors. So in that community there are many artists and many collectors. The one that you see is the parcel that I built for Earthman, and this parcel is full of the artwork from Zieg, which is one collector from that community. Zieg is the one that has hired me to build this parcel. And yeah, this story, the story that I am about to tell is all about how natural this project has come, has grown up. And this is a project that we intended to do anyways, but when I saw that there was this chance of the Creators Fund, I couldn't help but trying to apply.
Yeah.
This is the story of when I built the parcel. You can skip to the other slide, please. Yeah, okay. When I first built the parcel, I was asked to create this character for the web parcel, which is Zophie, and is part of the collection of Earthman. So I created that character as a 3D model for the parcel. You can skip to the other slide. And yeah, I created this, which is on the parcel. Okay. When I created the character, I was asked to join the crew of 3D modelers, which create characters for the OpenSea store of Earthman. And they asked me to join because they like the work, and I came up with this idea, and I told them, why don't we create an avatar for Somnium? Okay, and this is me because I wanna engage in Somnium. Meanwhile, Tieg, which is the owner of the parcel, was telling me that sometimes all these collectors that are part of the community, they have a way of engaging which is not that playful, because they don't really engage with the content of the comics. So we were speaking about creating an event like about the comics. Okay, the comics are really, they look great. I didn't use
5
them
minutes
for this presentation, but they are wonderful. Okay, they look like Watchmen. I don't know if anyone here knows Watchmen, the comics, but they are really beautiful, and I got in touch with the artists, etc. And from a creative point of view, that's really a great community. Okay, but it's also full of collectors, and sometimes collectors, they don't engage like people would like in the community. Okay, so this is the point where Somnium can help, and this is where I proposed to create avatars for Somnium. Okay. Next slide, please. This was my original idea.
Next slide, please.
Yeah, please. The original idea was of one event in which we gave this gift for the people that come for free, this avatar of Sophia, which is already built, okay, singing a guest book on the event, or using a pop, we can use many NFT mechanisms also. The music for the event would be from a musician, which is part of one near guild, the Human Guild, and is a very, very talented musician. If you look for this name on, which I cannot pronounce, is like Ishimitsu. If you look for Ishimitsu on Spotify, you can find the original songs, and they are beautiful, guys. Have a check, because it's worth it. Sorry?
Next slide. Next slide.
Next slide. Yeah. Well, about the community, there are many collections on OpenSea and Somnium, on OpenSea and Variable, which you can check to see their artworks and to see the engagement. Next slide, please.
Ultra.
Okay, the green slide. The green slide. These are two action figures that are sold on the Earthman store, and that are very interesting. Both are inspired on NFTs that are on the parcel, on the Earthman parcel, and you will get the link to the parcel in the last slide. These are the two avatars that I was planning for the first event. Okay. planning to create for the first event. Now I see that you're saying each month you receive the money. We could create 3 events with one free avatar for each event, and other 2 avatars that are from the collection of each man, but because you can check, there are a lot of action figures in their collection. Beautiful, all beautiful. So yeah, this is the main idea. The main idea is for an event, live music, original music presenting the avatars, and giving away a free avatar to each one. Yeah, the last slide is very important because there are the links. One is the link to the parcel. The web parcel is the one with the models, and the other one is all the other links for each man. You can check them on LinkedIn, and yeah.
All right, thank you to Jilt. Round of applause to Jilt. Woo!
Yeah. Thanks so much.
All right, so now the time for questions. I have a question. So, my classical question, you know, let's call it an Arthur question. The Arthur question is: you receive money tomorrow. What are you doing with this money? Step 1 to 3. What are your next steps right away?
Okay. Step 1 for creating the avatars. And step 2 for the musician. Each avatar created, I used the price that they offered me to pay me for each man, so it's like $200. And then for the musician, for each live event, I was planning to pay $100 for the musician.
And who will create the avatars?
So I was planning to create two avatars and to rig the Sophie avatar, but yes, if we create 3 events, I would probably ask to the 3D designers of the community, of the Eastman community, to create the avatars for the other events.
All right.
There would be at least 2 other 3D designers to work on this.
Okay. Any other questions from the judges?
Yep. Maybe for me, I just didn't completely get who will get the avatar, or how many of them will be there. Could you repeat that part?
How many avatars there will be?
Who will get the avatar? What's the
Okay, the avatar will be on the Somnium marketplace, and one of them will be gifted to the people that will be on the event.
Oh, okay.
Will sing the guest book.
So you want to mint avatars in Somnium space.
Yeah. This is the idea. Yeah. This is the original idea. Okay.
Perhaps you could use the startup money to help you get the first few events going, and you do the first few for free, and then you make the whole event surrounded around auctioning off one of the avatars. Because I mean, they're really good avatars. You shouldn't be giving away them for free. They're nice avatars. So if you can take that and use it inside Somnium Space, you can use it right away too. So it's an important NFT to have. So maybe, you know, just to get the ball rolling, to get some people in, you use some of the funds to get that started, but then start selling the NFT again. I keep saying the same thing, but to bring that money back in so that you can create a process. And you sell that NFT, and then you start the next one for next week. You sell that NFT, you start the one for the next week, and so on. Just a suggestion.
We have plenty of NFTs to give away as gift for the Hitman community. Each week does a giveaway, so we could definitely auction the avatars and give another giveaway NFT during the event.
All right, That was it. Thank you very much, Jilt. Round of applause to Jilt and to every performer, every person who was presenting this. So please, all the presenters who presented today, gather here in front of the stage, in front of the judges. Gather here, the presenters, come to us. And I would ask those who didn't present and who are in the audience, no, you face that direction, and I would ask some of the other guys, please make an amazing picture. Come closer to the stage here, come closer. Don't go onto the stage, you're not a judge. I'm joking. Okay, judges, go here. Exactly. Like, stay there, down there. All right. Well. So, okay, let's pose a few pictures, like us, the judges, staying in the table. So, if you guys can make some pictures, it will be fantastic. And then, of course, we'll invite all the presenters to the stage after the picture is done.
Hey, Quartz, how about some tunes, baby?
Exactly, Quartz, let's bring it on.
I need to dance.
He's like, oh yeah.
Quartz, we need you now.
Oh yeah, Djembe.
Yo, get out the way.
Little girl. Yeah, small town world. Oh yeah. Somnium space creators fun.
All right, now, do we have a picture?
Yeah, I got a bunch.
All right, so now everybody come to us, come to the judge stand. Let's do some posing together. Hugs, everybody. Yeah. And the picture, we need some picture, someone. Okay, come here, stand here. I'll prepare the tablet as well.
Yeah.
Come everybody. Don't be shy. Come everybody to the stage. All right. Come to the stage. Go to the stage, everybody. Go to the stage. Let me prepare this. Okay, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's go here.